Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. General Hospital spoilers. Ned blackmails Drew after James' revelation. General Hospital spoilers indicate that Ned Quartermain, Wally Kurth, always feels like the odd man out against Drew Quartermain, Cameron Matheson, and Michael Corinthos, Chad Dell. For years now, Drew and Michael have tried to team up in order to take control of ELQ. They don't seem to respect Ned's presence in the company, but they may soon come to regret that decision. Ned recently came across a piece of information that could potentially ruin both Drew and Michael's lives. A few weeks ago, James West, Gary James Fuller, ran away and ended up inside the Quartermain boathouse. When Willow Tate, Caitlin McMullen, and Nina Reeves, Cynthia Watrous, arrived right outside, James overheard mother and daughter discussing Willow's kiss with Drew. Willow further explained to Nina how much guilt she felt since she is happily married to Michael. James has kept this information to himself until now. James told Ned what he overheard. Of course, Ned was quite surprised by what he heard. Now it's just a question of what he will do with this information. He could keep it to himself, but that seems unlikely given Ned's feelings toward both Drew and Michael. Ned told Michael he believed that Drew was only out for himself, but that Michael really cared about the Quartermain family. So Ned may decide to tell Michael in order to gain him as an ally against Drew. Instead, Ned will most likely hold the information over Drew's head and use it to get support as CEO of ELQ instead of Michael. If Drew backs Michael as CEO instead, Ned will likely threaten to tell Michael about Drew and Willow's kiss. If Drew does decide to back Ned, Michael is surely going to feel betrayed by Drew, but it's nothing like learning that his uncle has been kissing his wife. This is going to end badly for everyone. What do you think? What will Ned do with James' news? Will he tell Michael everything? Or will he stoop to blackmail? Anything can happen in Port Charles, so stay tuned to General Hospital, airing weekdays on. In the world of General Hospital, secrets have a way of coming to light at the most inconvenient moments. And the latest bombshell threatens to shake up lives in Port Charles. Drew Cain is no stranger to navigating dangerous waters. But this time, he might find himself drowning in the repercussions of a revelation he never saw coming. With James' shocking confession out in the open, Ned Quartermain sees a golden opportunity, one that could give him the upper hand in a power struggle that has been brewing for months. The revelation that changes everything. It all began when James, a key player in Port Charles' business world, stumbled upon something that sent shivers down his spine. A hidden connection between Drew and a mysterious deal that had been kept under wraps for years. For months, Drew thought he had buried the skeletons of his past, but James' curiosity led him down a path that uncovered a web of lies and cover-ups that Drew never imagined would resurface. James, a man known for keeping his cards close to his chest, debated what to do with the information. He knew that revealing the truth would cause chaos, but something pushed him to come forward, hoping for a clean slate and redemption. When he confronted Drew, the former Navy SEAL's face went pale. The secret James had uncovered wasn't just a minor infraction. It was a revelation that could destroy Drew's life, professionally and personally. "Tell me this isn't true," James said, his voice low but steady. "Tell me that everything I found was a mistake." Drew's silence spoke louder than words. Ned sees his chance. As luck would have it, Ned Quartermain overheard the heated exchange between James and Drew. Never one to miss an opportunity, especially one that could tilt the Quartermain family's power dynamics in his favor, Ned waited for the perfect moment to make his move. Drew had been a thorn in Ned's side ever since he returned to Port Charles, not just because of family squabbles, but because Drew's involvement in Aurora Media threatened to undermine Ned's own ambitions. Ned cornered Drew later that day, his usual smirk plastered on his face. "Seems like you found yourself in a bit of a predicament," he said, his tone dripping with condescension. Drew, already on edge from his confrontation with James, wasn't in the mood for Ned's games. "What do you want, Ned?" "I don't have time for your Quartermain posturing." "Oh, I'm not here to posture," Ned replied, leaning in closer. "I'm here to offer you a way out." Drew's jaw tightened. He knew where this was going, but he wasn't about to let Ned think he had the upper hand. "And what makes you think I need anything from you?" Ned chuckled, the sound cold and calculating. "I heard what James had to say. That little secret you've been keeping, it could ruin you. And let's not forget what it could do to your daughter. Scout deserves better, don't you think?" Drew's eyes flashed with anger. The mention of his daughter was a low blow, even for Ned. "Don't you dare bring Scout into this." "Oh, but that's the beauty of it, Drew. I don't have to do anything. All I have to do is sit back and watch everything fall apart for you unless—" Ned trailed off, his meaning crystal clear. Drew's fists clenched at his sides. "What do you want?" The blackmail unfolds. Ned leaned back, savoring the moment. "It's simple, really. You back off Aurora Media. Hand over your shares to me, and I'll make sure James keeps his mouth shut. You get to keep your reputation intact, and more importantly, Scout never has to find out what kind of man her father really is." Drew couldn't believe what he was hearing. Ned had always been ruthless, but this was on a whole new level. Giving up his shares in Aurora Media would mean giving up his dream of building something for his daughter, something that wasn't tainted by his past or the Quartermain family drama. But if he didn't, everything he had worked for could come crashing down. "You're disgusting," Drew spat, his voice barely above a whisper. Ned shrugged. "Maybe. But I'm also smart, and I know when to strike. You should have known better than to try to play in my sandbox, Drew. Now the ball's in your court. Make the right choice." Drew's mind raced. He could go to Carly or Sam for help, but dragging them into this mess wasn't an option. He could confront James again, but he had no leverage there either. And Ned knew it. The weight of the decision. Later that evening, Drew found himself sitting alone in his office, staring at the papers in front of him. The deal was right there, black and white, clear as day. Hand over his shares, and Ned would make the problem disappear. But signing those papers felt like signing away a piece of his soul. He had fought so hard to distance himself from the man he used to be. And now it seemed like that man was catching up with him, no matter how far he ran. Just as Drew was about to make a decision, there was a knock on his office door. Carly walked in, her usual confident smile fading when she saw the look on Drew's face. "What's going on?" she asked, immediately sensing that something was very wrong. Drew hesitated. Carly was the one person who had always been in his corner, and he trusted her more than anyone. But telling her the truth would drag her into a situation that had no easy way out. I'm in trouble, Carly," Drew admitted, his voice heavy with the weight of his secret. Carly's eyes narrowed. "What kind of trouble?" Drew sighed, running a hand through his hair. "Ned knows something that could destroy everything I've worked for. He's blackmailing me into giving up my shares in Aurora." Carly's face hardened. "And you're seriously thinking about letting him win?" "I don't have a choice," Drew replied, his frustration evident. "You always have a choice," Carly said firmly. "You just have to be willing to fight." Drew looked at Carly, her fiery determination sparking something inside him. Maybe she was right. Maybe there was still a way out of this that didn't involve giving in to Ned's demands. But one thing was for sure. This battle was far from over, and the stakes had never been higher. As Drew stared at the papers in front of him, He realized that the war for his future had only just begun.